A group of friends had set out to traverse the harsh landscape of Ben Lamont. Upon arriving at the mountains, the first item they removed from their bags was climbing boots. Lost in thought, Sandy noted how the walking boots linked to what they had been discussing the previous day: creative leadership. Like boots, leadership is not one size fits all but requires collective collaboration in order to pave the way for change.
The team then proceeded to hike the mountain over in following hours. However, found that they had made a fundamental mistake in their navigation and were hopelessly lost. Panic quickly set in and people had different ideas about what to do next. Leon then noticed the hairband on his wrist, which reminded him of flexibility and unity. He realized everyone must collectively regroup and focus on bringing each other's ideas together to best tackle the problem that they were faced with.
Whilst taking a break, Jennifer stopped for a drink of water beside a stream. She noticed how the water was constantly shifting and adapting, flowing in a natural direction, reminding her of the creativity of leadership that was needed in this situation. Ideas needed to flow freely amongst the team, during which leadership constantly shifts to develop innovative solutions to guide them out of their current predicament.
By encouraging group members to discuss ideas collectively, the relational interplay between members allowed Cavan to realise that utilising his binoculars could help the team look at the problem through a different lens. Cavan analysed the terrain ahead to prepare for potential issues that may arise and focus on the most appropriate pathway to achieve the team's goal. Creative leadership not only involves vision and problem solving, but also focuses heavily on identifying feasible solutions to discover the most appropriate path towards a desired goal.
They then found the correct path and direction that would help lead them towards their intended goal and ultimate safety. Once safely down the mountain, Harry looked at his watch and realised how the time had passed so much from when they initially started, with the small incremental changes on the watch face reminding him that change is vital for survival, and that this change is fostered through creativity and innovation.
Through considering Sawyer's zigzag theory throughout this task, our group began by asking an array of questions as we felt the assignment was quite open-ended and up for interpretation. We created a mind map to share our ideas and plot all the avenues we could go down, discussing which were most suitable for achieving our aims. Due to the nature of this task, the group also acknowledged the difficulty we were faced with. At times we struggled with capturing the creativity of leadership when thinking of objects, and so we had to figure out why this was happening and reorient ourselves to tackle this. We began to look at our surroundings with a new perspective, which enabled us to seek out the best options for demonstrating leadership traits. This also aided the group when considering how we would deliver our narrative to hit the brief. During the play stage, group members pitched many ideas for a story that would work with our objects. Some were quite out of the box, but we toyed with them all to push our ideas and develop them further towards something unique and creative, but also appropriate. The group then reviewed our work to decipher which option would be best to advance with. This involved considering our ideas of creative leadership whilst also referring back to our mind map to ensure our story and selected objects met our perception of the brief. Once the storyline had been finalised, we fused complementary objects together and combined these with a script and structure to help our narrative. Our group used the criteria to guide our choices through each part of the process, as we constantly had the task up to refer to. Our mind maps also helped solidify our interpretations of creative leadership, which subsequently helped with the object selection process. At the final stage, we brought our ideas to life by filming and editing the video, which represented the culmination of each process we went through as a group.
After reading the literature, we put theory into context by incorporating our practical experience to better understand relational leadership. I relayed my experience from when I helped to host a gin festival at university. Tickets included 15 samples of gin, however on the day one company failed to show, meaning we suddenly had to come up with a solution to this problem. In this situation, leadership manifests itself as creativity, and only by working together did we come up with an idea to completely change direction and run the stall as a spin-the-wheel gin sampling. This taught us that relational leadership is a creative social practice that emerges from interaction. In this task, we felt leadership was exercised by everyone in the group, as we noticed it shifted according to our conversations and ideas. What this meant for creative practice was that different perspectives and new ways of looking at things could be explored, ultimately leading to innovative solutions to approaching this task that couldn't have been achieved alone. From this process, it was evident to us that how we interact is how we generate the creativity that constitutes leadership.
From this project, our group explored the many aspects of creative leadership through a collaborative approach. From this, we utilised the movements of leadership to ultimately create our story and structure it in a way which incorporated our individual and collaborative efforts entirely. We combined aspects of our practical experiences through relational leadership and fused our ideas together through Sawyer's zigzag methodology. This allowed us to convey our story, which enveloped our practical experiences and theoretical understandings together.